we're going to bury it underground so that 50 to 100 years from now, whoever digs it up can see what today's society has done for our great city of Houston. Sesh, can you show us the time capsule? And these are artifacts, mementos, brochures, newspaper clippings, all kinds of stuff that we've gathered over the US. Yes. So we're going to bury it. Where are we going to bury it?
The corner there.
All right.
Tina is going to help us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gustavo.
Okay.
Gustavo.
Okay. Now we're ready for the ribbon cutting of the Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston. 1, 2, 3.
Everybody, please stay there for a photo. Group photo. Everybody back to the stage. Yeah, okay. I mean, if you don't need the photo, yeah, then we'll be fine. Okay, all right. Yes.
Okay. Developments. What? Okay. Yes, ahorita que vayan entrando. Sigue que no. Hola. Sí. Wow. You're there. Yeah.
Right from here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well. No, no, no. I'm good. I'm good.
No, actually, you should be happy. I know him on that. I'll be your friend.
Sí. Sí, tráetela para acá. Aquí es donde se supone que necesitaban. En lo que nosotros hacemos.
शिवरबिन्दु मध्यस्थ चिन्तामणि मन्दिरस्थ शिवकार मञ्चस्थित शिवकामेशाङ्गस्थ श्रीकमलाम्ब जयति
है हमको अब तक आशिक़ी का वो ज़माना याद है चुपके चुपके रात दिन आंसू बहाना याद
Oh, namaste. Good afternoon. Welcome to the air-conditioned Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston. Yes. Thank you so much for putting up with the heat outside. We're in Houston. We can't control that, but we tried to do it as quick as possible. Let's start the program. We're going to again recite the Universal Prayer. Okay, please bow your heads. We pray to the God of Sat, truth, to give us the boon of ahimsa, nonviolence, in mind, word, and deed. So this, in fact, I think I said this yesterday, was the last sentence written by Mahatma Gandhi in his autobiography, My Experiments with Truth. And I read this book probably about 15 years ago, and for me, it truly was life-changing and inspired me to get involved with the efforts of keeping the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi alive. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, a warm, warm welcome to the Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston. We truly appreciate each one of you for your amazing support and generous contributions in helping to transform what once was just a dream, but is now a vivid reality. Together, we have brought Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston to our wonderful, diverse city of Houston. And now we have a special visitor who is all the way from Washington, D.C., and apparently he has a message for us. Is he on the line?
Agree.
Should we wait? Okay, well then we'll go to the next item, and then we'll go back to. Okay, so what we'd like to do is start this program with a wonderful performance. It's from the DAV Montessori and Elementary School, which was established in 2001. It's located at the Arya Samaj of Greater Houston and offers robust academics, Hindi as a second language, yoga, prayer, and moral education. Please welcome. These are first and graders of DAV Montessori and Elementary School, and they're going to present a dance about the life of Mahatma Gandhi ji, Dr. Martin Luther King, and Mr. Nelson Mandela, who all work towards the same goal of truth and nonviolence. Please welcome DAV Montessori and Elementary School. We just introduced them. Let's go, let's go. Sanjay ji, you're not ready.
2:15.
Ah, you didn't get the latest timeline. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on.
Just go straight carefully, okay? Come on.
Go on all the way into your positions on stage.
The future depends on what we do in the present. Respected elders, today we are here to learn about the most inspiring people in the history. Mahatma Gandhi was a leader who showed us that big changes can come from peace and love. So, today, let's journey together into a life and lessons of Mahatma Gandhi.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहे जे पीड़ पराए जाने रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहे जे पीड़ पराए जाने रे पर दुखे उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान जन को तेने कहे जे पीड़ पराए जाने
माटी पुकारे तुझे देश पुकारे आजा रे अब आजा रे भूले हम राहे हमें राह दिखा दे आजा रे राह दिखा दे ऐनक पहने लाठी पकड़े चलते थे वो शान से जालिम कांपे थर 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 सुनकर उनका नाम रे था उनका छोटा सा और सरपट उनकी चाल रे दुबले से पतले से थे वो चलते सीना तान के
Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was the leader of India's independence movement. Gandhi used non-violent methods to protest British colonial rule. His efforts earned him the title Mahatma. Mahatma means great soul. He said that we should stay peaceful no matter how much we are punished for British actions. This new method of protest became known as Satyagraha, or devotion to truth.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम.
You must be the change you wish to see in the world. When you are right, you have no need to be angry. When you are wrong, you have no right to be angry. I object to violence because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary. The evil it does is permanent. The old law of an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Satyameva jayate, satyameva jayate.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम.
गांधी जी का नाम बड़ा है, गांधी जी का नाम, गांधी जी का नाम बड़ा है, गांधी जी का नाम. बापू जी का काम बड़ा है, बापू जी का काम, अरे बापू जी का काम बड़ा
Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and many other leaders across the world fought for equality and justice, were inspired to follow the path forged by Gandhi. Let's hear some of them on about Mahatma. Good afternoon. I am Martin Luther King, the most visible spokesperson and leader in the civil rights. Mahatma Gandhi revealed to us that social problems can be solved without violence. In our struggle against racial segregation in Montgomery, Alabama, I came to see nonviolence is the best weapon available. Mr. Gandhi has been a guiding light to me in making me realize that nonviolence could be a powerful weapon in the struggle for freedom. He lived, thought, and acted inspired by the vision of humanity evolving towards a world of peace and harmony. We must learn to live together as brothers. As Mahatma said, in a gentle way you can shake the world. Thank you. Good afternoon. I am Nelson Mandela, who brought a peaceful transformation in South Africa and in healing destructive human divisions. Mr. Gandhi's non-violent approach won India freedom from British colonial rule 60 years ago was my inspiration. Mahatma is an integral part of our history, as it is here in South Africa that he developed Satyagraha as philosophy and a method of struggle. In a world driven by violence and strife, Gandhiji's message of peace and non-violence holds the key to human survival. It always seems impossible until it's done. Let's be friends and stay happy. Thank you. By sharing a common humanity and working together could lead to a more peaceful and harmonious world. We are one. We are the world.
We are one. We are the world. We are one. We are together. We want peace around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world. World, peace, love, harmony. World, peace, love, harmony.
Just wonderful. They're so cute. Yes, let me introduce you to the director, Miss Aruna Gumali. Please come and take a bow. Your kids were wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. Yes. Well, that definitely gets us in the spirit, doesn't it? Yes, all right. Let's see, any word on the phone call? Not yet, right? Not yet. Okay, so we'll keep going. Okay, so, let me move this back out so these people can see. The museum, yes, another big hand, thank you. As you walk into the museum, let me tell you about three ladies that were the heart and soul in getting this museum erect. The interior, the design, the fabrication, the installation, and you'll get to see this as after the program. We'll have tours or whatnot. But please welcome all the way from Louisville, Kentucky, Cynthia Torp, the CEO of Solid Light. Mr. Chris Mosier, he was our project manager. And Mr. Jackson King. What an amazing team. And I've told this story many times, but we've shared nights together, especially in India, on a bus. We traveled for 7 days together, visited 5 different Gandhi museums in 4 different cities, and this is truly what gave them the inspiration to build what you see on the inside of the museum. We're so proud of it, so thank you so much, Cynthia. And then I'd like to also introduce well, before we go there, I think we got a phone call. E.T. Here we go. Is he ready? Come on up.
I'm Rodney Ellis, and I'm just standing in for Congressman Al Green. He cannot be here because they are in Washington, D.C., obviously doing important work. But he played such an instrumental role in helping come up with that critical funding for this project. I thought it would be okay if you all to let him say a few words.
Go ahead and speak, sir.
We're trying. How's that look? I got this. Hold on, Congressman.
Sir? Okay, you can speak.
For this, what I believe to be a most significant date in the history of Houston, Texas, because in my opinion, you are now in the pantheon of the progenitor of the nonviolent peaceful protest.
And although the congressman is off the line, he does have a congressional certificate here that he'd like for us to present as well. And more significantly, a flag that flew over the United States Capitol in honor of this opening today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now the program will proceed as planned.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me put this up. So yeah, Congressman Al Green, we had the pleasure of actually seeing him last night, but he couldn't make it as he had to fly out to Washington, D.C. But he truly was instrumental in getting us a $3 million federal grant for the construction of this museum. So as I mentioned, Cynthia being the CEO of Solid Light, we also had a construction company. It's called TDK Construction that built this from ground up. 2 years ago, it was a flat piece of land. And in charge of all that was Tina Cuttrey. And finally, as with everything else, the question is, how did this building, the concept, the circular nature of it, how did it come about? And we were so fortunate to work with Lori Westrick. She's the principal architect from RDLR Architects and has become a great friend. Thank you so much, Lori. And in fact, fresh hot off the press this morning, we received an amazing video that I want you guys to see. And it really illustrates how the architecture of this building came about. So please enjoy this video.
The EGMH project embodies RDLR's commitment. The EGMH project embodies RDLR's commitment to architectural excellence with a profound social impact. The architectural design of the Eternal Gandhi Museum draws inspiration from the charkha spinning wheel, which Gandhi used to symbolize his philosophy of economic self-sufficiency and nonviolent protest. The charkha is prominently featured in the garden, with a life-sized bronze Gandhi statue at its center. Radial pavement joints emulate the spokes of the charkha, extending throughout the building to establish the structural and foundational grid and location of hero plaques that honor Nobel Peace Prize recipients. The design also embraces minimalism, echoing Gandhi's rejection of excessive materialism. Locally sourced Texas masonry, simulated wood slats, and insulated glazing make up the exterior, while the interior features terrazzo flooring, gypsum wallboards, and exposed structural elements, reflecting the building's structural integrity. The lobby lights pay homage to Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights, a profound celebration of cultural significance to Hindus worldwide. Our main goal was to align with EGMH's vision of creating a space for diverse individuals to explore the stories of prominent nonviolent leaders who brought about significant societal change, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's principles. We are immensely proud to have contributed to this project, bringing Gandhi's message of truth and love to the heart of Houston, making a lasting positive impact on society.
So again, Cynthia, Lori, Tina,
EGM
you guys are truly inspiring, and thanks for all that you've done to bring this together. So speaking of the bronze statue that's located at the center of the foyer of the museum, that is a life-size statue of Mahatma Gandhi. It's pure bronze, it's 500 pounds, and it was shipped all the way from India. And it was an actual gift thanks to our Consul General's office from India. So we're so appreciative of that. And it's my distinct honor to introduce Mr. D.C. Manjunath, our Consul General of India. Mr. Manjunath joined the Indian forces in 2004. Prior to our great city, he was Joint Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi. He is a mechanical engineer graduate and a distinguished alumni awardee from College of Engineering in Gandhi, Chennai. So please welcome our Consul General, Mr. D.C. Manjunath.
Friends, after the wonderful performance by the future of the world, the beautiful children, Gandhi spoke to us, Dr. King spoke to us, and Dr. Mandela spoke to us. I don't know what to speak here. Nevertheless, Congressman Al Green, whom we had the fortune of hearing just before, Dr. Rajmohan Gandhi, Mr. Isaac Newton Paris, the board members of Eternal Gandhi Museum, elected officials, distinguished guests. It's such an honor to be here on this extraordinary day. Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston, the first ever cultural and educational museum in Americas dedicated to preserving and promoting Mahatma Gandhi's legacy by cultivating universal values of truth, non-violence, peace, love, and service, formally being inaugurated. Mahatma Gandhi is a world citizen, and his life is his message. India has only two small claims. One is that this great human being was born in India. And second small claim is that we, the India, call him the father of the nation. So with that context, this year, especially the 2003, has been one of the important years for India and the India-US relations, and how today fits into that. I would just like to share a few thoughts. This year, 2 years ago, India, 75 years of independence, we started what we called as Amrit Mahotsav is the 75th years anniversary, and 1 year long celebrations were started with the banner Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and we just last August 15th, we celebrated 76 years of independence at the 77th Independence Day, or completion of 76 years of independence. The same month, 23rd of August, India landed on the moon, the 4th country to land, and the first country to land on the South Pole. Last month, India hosted the G20 summit, and the message, or the G20's slogan, which is one world, one family, and one future, that comes from the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, leaving no one behind. That is the message. And the world leaders converged in New Delhi and adopted this as one of the world's main principles and work for a common future as together everyone. And next came immediately, end of last month, Indian Parliament voted for a law which gave 33% of the lower house of the parliament, Lok Sabha, as well as the state legislatures, the 33%, 1/3 of the seats to be reserved exclusively for the women. So that is I am saying all these things because everything connects to Mahatma Gandhi's ideals and the values. Coming to India-US relations, I don't think in the history of India and US, there has been the leaders level summits within a span of, in the same year and within a span of about 3 months. June 2023, Prime Minister Modi was here, and with President Biden, we had a summit level meeting. And you wouldn't believe, the joint declarations are issued after the leaders' meetings. It runs to pages, and it is about 58 paragraphs. There is not a single area where the US and India is not cooperating and collaborating. Every aspect of human avenue, we both, the great democracies, India and US, collaborate with each other. I would like to, bring the Houston connection here. The NASA and the ISRO collaborated for the Moon Chandrayaan-3 program. And now coming to the Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston, this beautifully fits into the the cultural landscape of India-US relations, as well as the architectural and the landscape of the beautiful Houston city. About Mahatma Gandhi, I think, I don't need to tell, we have heard from the Gandhiji himself and two of his, great admirers. So just to say that this museum also dovetails into, in addition to promoting the Gandhian values, it also dovetails into our objectives of deepening India-US education and knowledge partnership. And what Dr. Martin Luther King said also we heard. I would just like to recollect, when he visited India first in 1959, he was inspired by Gandhi and he visited India in 1959 and he came back and he said, after he visit, I left India more convinced than ever before that non-violent resistance is the most potent weapon available to the oppressed people in their struggle for freedom. There are many more quotes which are very famous, what Dr. King had said about Mahatma Gandhi. I will not delve into those things. But today is also a special day, 154th anniversary, birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi ji, and International Day of Non-Violence. To the world calendar of events, the UN, so to say, World Parliament, declared October 2nd as the International Day of Non-Violence. Since then, we have been commemorating 2nd October with a double sweetener, Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, the Father of Nations Day, and also the International Day of Non-Violence. And on this day, it is very, very heartening to see that the project, I spoke about the India-America relations about some time, but what I have to underline here, there are several reasons for this upsurge over the past decade or so, but the most important thing is the Indo-Americans here, who are the true ambassadors of the Indian-America relations. And as their project, the founder members are here, Mr. Kotari and Mr. Dev Mahajan and others. I know I have a long list of names, so I hope you will bear me on that if I don't mention them. So their conception and the idea, it has fulfilled today, and we are here in this beautiful building. And Doctor mentioned about our contribution. It's such an honor for us to be part of this journey and bring the life-size statue of Mahatma Gandhi here. And I don't know how proud we feel to be here as government representative, and except to commend and thank each and one of you for having this and bringing this landscape. Dr. Tari had mentioned to me when we met, if you want to see the outer space, go to NASA. If you want inner space, come to Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston. So, I borrow from him. So with those words, and once again, I thank every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Consul General. Consul General, sorry. On behalf of Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston, please accept this as our token of our appreciation.
Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words. All right. So last year, we actually secured a $475,000 grant from Fort Bend County. And this was under what's called the American Rescue Plan. And it gave us a great boon to our fundraising. And who I'd like to call up on stage is our Fort Bend County Commissioner, Precinct 4. He's been a great supporter, and I've heard him talk. He's magnificent. Please welcome Dexter McCoy.
It is a great honor to be here today. I remember when Atul and the team first came and presented to us. At that time, I was chief of staff in the county judge's office. And when we heard about the vision for this facility, we couldn't, and at that time, going through a pandemic, so much division in our country, in our global society, we couldn't think of a more perfect thing for us to get behind and to support than this. This is an incredible, momentous occasion, not just for this immediate community surrounding this facility, but for our entire region. And so to all of those who were a part of this vision and making it a reality, I want to commend you, and could we all give them a round of applause? Now, to our Consul General, our esteemed state representatives who are here assembled, County Commissioner Rodney Ellis, Vice Mayor Pro Tem Martha Kassex-Tatum, and City Council members, I say thank you for being here because this would not have happened without both public and private partnerships. And to you all, know that these investments are important. I'll say this, and I know I said this at a dinner that I was pleased to be invited to talk at not too long ago. You know, I think about the life that I've enjoyed as a child. My grandparents raised me until I was 9 years old. And every year, we used to go to a march to commemorate MLK Day and the entire civil rights movement. I grew up doing this every year, like routine. But when I learned more about Dr. King and his philosophy of nonviolence, I couldn't help but, in the research that my grandmother, who was an educator, the research she had me do, help but to come across and realize that that was rooted in the teaching of Satyagraha, the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. But thinking about the life that I lived growing up, and that there are people, there are children who are alive today who do not know what it's like to not hear the sound of bombs dropping around their homes every day. People who will not grow up like my daughter, knowing what it's like to wake up to the sound of birds chirping and peace. That breaks my heart. And so it's incumbent upon each and every one of us sitting here today to commit ourselves to the mission of peace and nonviolence, to commit ourselves to, in our places of worship and in our places of work, in our communities, in our homes, to make sure that we are the ambassadors of peace. And I'll leave you with this last one. I went to school at Boston University, and I was an ambassador in a center called the Howard Thurman Center for Common Ground. Now, Dr. Howard Thurman was the dean of the School of Theology at Boston University, but his mentor was Mahatma Gandhi. He was a mentor and advisor to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he was getting his doctorate degree. Now, that's the history and that's the training that I'm steeped in. And so as I even come into this work as county commissioner and I approach my work every day, this is the teachings that I abide by. And when we're working to build communities and centers of community where everyone can survive and thrive, we have to know that that's deeply rooted in the teachings that we will learn here and the generations that will be impacted for futures and generations to come. So thank you so much. Thanks for allowing us to be a part of this vision.
All right, thanks, Dexter. All right, well, we did see him earlier on stage, but I'd like to hear from him now. Please welcome Rodney Ellis. He's our Harris County Commissioner for Precinct 1. He serves approximately 1.1 million people in this county. And very much like Gandhi ji himself, he's an attorney, but his passion is in public service. Please welcome Rodney Ellis.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I know you're going to hear a lot of speeches today, so I didn't bring my notes up, but you get a keynote from me. I do want to say that this is so significant because it will be a living museum. It'll be a cultural center. I'm so glad you decided to take it out of the center city, out of downtown. The decision's made not to put this in the heart of the museum district because we're such a massive area. You know, our county, Harris County alone, is almost 5 million people. We'd be the 26th largest state in the country if it was a separate state. Then you take our neighbors in Fort Bend County, just across the toll road here. It's a massive area and so many people. I want to thank all of the folks who helped put this together. In particular, I want to thank Atul Katari. Dexter, you're so right. It was so hot when we were out here that day. Somebody fell out, Lucy. Am I right? It was so hot, and I was so glad when you all moved this on the inside today. But it was his vision, along with a host of other people from my South Asian Indian community in particular, who put up the bulk of the money to get this done. So give all of them a warm round of applause. You got a star-studded cast here today. And I'm not talking about all us local folks. You see us all of the time. You have Mahatma Gandhi's grandson here. You're going to hear from him. So I won't give my keynote. I want to let you hear it from him instead. You also have Isaac Newton Ferris here. If I might say, in case you don't know, he's Martin Luther King's nephew. But not just a nephew, he is the nephew. Isaac, I won't embarrass you, but I was working for Congressman Mickey Leland in 1981. Andrew Young was running for mayor of Atlanta. And so I went to Atlanta. I met your mother before I met you, and of course, Miss King, and I met your running buddy, your cousin, Martin III, of course, and we have traveled the world together. We were there when a statue was unveiled of Dr. King in Mexico City many years ago, but just such a good friend. And I'm so proud of you and what you've done with your life. Give Dr. King's favorite nephew, Isaac Newton Ferris, a warm round of applause. To Mr. Gandhi's grandson, I had the privilege of being in South Africa. I know Mahatma Gandhi spent 21 years there. And many of the lessons that we've come to learn about around the world, he picked up there, of all places. A form of discrimination before we quite understood it here. You had apartheid in South Africa. I know that statue in Johannesburg outside his law office, the statue of Mahatma Gandhi. I had the privilege of touring his home along with Jesse Jackson when the climate change conference was in Durban. And the house he lived in is actually a cultural and educational center. That's why this center is so important. I did pull a few dates out of my notes that were interesting to me. January the 1st, 1863. That's when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. Since we're here in Harris County, just a stone's throw from Fort Bend County, where they actually grew the cotton, you know, it was 2.5 years later before we got the word slavery. Before the Emancipation Proclamation hit us, it was June the 19th, 1865. A few years later, on this date, 154 years ago, October the 2nd, 1869, Mahatma Gandhi was born. And out of all of his sayings, there's one in particular that I saw in a program when we came here before, and the quote was, "To be the change you want to see." Haven't we seen so many variations of that, even with the first African American to be president of the United States? Remember that line, "You be the change you're looking for." But there's just so much that we learned. We were inspired by the life of Mahatma Gandhi, and I'm just so honored that this center will not just be a museum, but a cultural center to have those tough discussions about issues that we even have today. I have to remind my colleagues all the time, equity does not just mean when you get more. You know, some people are for equity as long as in the formula they get some more. Equity means when it's fair for everyone. So I'm glad to be here as a part of this. I appreciate all of my colleagues in local elective office for being here. But more important than anything, I appreciate the philanthropic support of people from our South Asian community who had the idea and you put the money up to make it a reality. So on behalf of all of us at Harris County Commissioners Court, Judge Hidalgo's back today. I'm so proud of her. Commissioner Garcia, Tom Ramsey, Commissioner Briones, we're all proud to have this in Harris County. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Please accept this gift from the Gandhi Museum. Yes, and you're right. We do have a star-studded cast. So next, actually representing District K, and this stretches across Southwest Houston into Fort Bend County. She was unanimously elected by Mayor Sylvester Turner and her city council colleagues to serve as the City of Houston's Vice Mayor Pro Tem. Please welcome Councilwoman Martha Castix Tatum. Is she here? Oh, maybe she, okay, I saw her earlier, but she may have left. Okay, well, we'll move on. And just to let you know, we do have a few more speeches, but please stay back afterwards. We have personally guided tours for each and every one of you. We'll break out into groups, but we definitely want you to see the heart and soul of our museum. So please wait around for that. So next I want to introduce a native of Cleveland, Mississippi. He's not from around here. His name is John Livingston. He's an honor graduate of the Darlington School and the University of Georgia. And he has been an advocate of civil rights throughout his illustrious career in business management and sales. John, please come say a few words.
Yes, thank you. It is an extraordinary honor to be here with all of you today. In March 1968, at the National Cathedral in Washington, Martin Luther King said in a speech, "We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. But it doesn't get there on its own." And the Mahatma, Gandhi, is an example of how to bend the arc of that moral universe toward justice. I come from Mississippi. It's the land in which the American civil rights movement cut its path. Dr. King was in my town. Dr. King died not far from where I lived one night in April in '68 while we were having supper. It is the most appropriate place to have a statue of Mahatma Gandhi. In my hometown of Clarksdale, Mississippi, I was born in Cleveland, I live in Clarksdale. I'm an economic developer, and I love the country of India. And Consul General, your colleague, Dr. Swati Kulkarni, in Atlanta, and the nation of India gifted us a beautiful statue. And a gentleman attended from Houston. I had never met him, and he was astounded that this statue was in Clarksdale, in a small town in the Mississippi Delta, a farming community, which is known more for the blues than for an appreciation of things Indian. But I could think of no greater place than Clarksdale or Mississippi, because it was through that very place that people like Martin Luther King, John Lewis, James Farmer, Robert Kennedy came to teach us about how we should treat our fellow man. Perhaps we didn't listen carefully enough in church, but we had to listen to people, other people, to come and tell us and show us how this works. And that direct line comes from the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. And therefore, it becomes even more poignant and more appropriate to be here celebrating this with you. And I congratulate everybody here who has participated in developing, building, and funding this extraordinary facility a palace to peace amongst all peoples throughout the world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, and truly it takes a team effort to bring such a project of this scale to our city of Houston. And I'd really like to take this opportunity to introduce our Board of Trustees at Eternal Gandhi Museum Houston. And please come to stage as I call your name. Mr. Atul Kotari. Dave Mahajan. Saish Bala. G.V. Krishnan. Namita Sutaria. Ajit Paralkar. Dr. Barkat Charania. And Sanjay Jain. It is with these broad shoulders that this museum has come to fruition to our great diverse city. Please. Here is the board of the Eternal Gandhi Museum of Houston. All right, well, it's now truly a pleasure to introduce you to our guest of honor. He actually flew in from Chicago last night, or yesterday afternoon, but he lives in New Haven, Connecticut. He's a prominent figure known for his multifaceted contributions to academia, history, and social justice. He is a distinguished scholar, author, and political commentator. His work has enriched our understanding of pivotal historical events, including the complexities of India's history, particularly during the struggle for independence and the life of his grandfather, Mahatma Gandhi. He has inspired discussions on ethics, nonviolence, and civil rights. His dedication to peace, justice, and intellectual pursuits has left an indelible mark on the world stage. I had the pleasure of spending the morning with him and giving him a tour of the museum, and we're so thrilled that you're here. Please give a Texas-sized welcome to Dr. Rajmohan Gandhi. So, Dr. Gandhi, before I give you the mic, I had a special request from each of these precious kids. They want to take a picture with you, if that's okay.
My grandfather is standing there, so I'll do it.
Thank you once again. Here's Dr. Gandhi.
Dear founding members, other members of the Board of Trustees of the Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston. Dear Chief Guest, Congressman Al Green, Chief Absent Guest, Congressman Al Green, but he has very kindly sent this message. Dear Special Guest, Isaac Newton Farris. Dear Manjunathji, Consul General, India. And dear commissioners, leaders of various counties, portions of Houston, Texas. I wish I could give every name, but I'm incapable of doing that. Sorry. And dear everybody else, everyone who is present. I'm really happy to be here at this inauguration, not merely because I am a Gandhi descendant, one of 5 surviving grandchildren and numerous great-grand and great-great-grandchildren. I'm happy because I have a stake in the future of humanity, including my own daughter, son, 2 grandsons. I want humanity to live in peace, dignity, mutual respect, and mutual friendship. I'm happy because here's a new museum that will encourage humanity to get beyond hate, violence, and supremacy. Hate, violence, and supremacy. For a great many in the world, Gandhi and King are symbols of dignity, of peace, of equality. Albert Einstein, everyone knows about him, never met Gandhi. He lived thousands of miles away from where Gandhi lived, but he understood Gandhi. Here's what Einstein wrote about Gandhi in the year 1939, the year when the Second World War began in Europe. This was 9 years before Gandhi's death, 8 years before India's independence. This is what Einstein wrote, quote, about Gandhi, a leader of his people, unsupported by any outside authority, a politician, added Einstein, whose success rests not upon craft, nor the mastery of technical devices, but simply on the convincing power of his personality. A victorious fighter who has always scorned the use of force. A man of wisdom and humility, armed with resolve, who has devoted all his strength to the uplifting of his people and the betterment of their lot. A man who has confronted the brutality of Europe with the dignity of the simple human being, and thus at all times risen superior. Einstein went on to say, generations to come, it may be, will scarce believe that such a one as this, ever in flesh and blood, walked upon this earth, unquote. As Gandhi's grandson and biographer, let me recognize that like all of us, Gandhi was very human, and you will find this also in this museum. He was enraged when India's British rulers imposed an unjust law, and he frankly expressed his rage, including to a British viceroy or a British governor. But Gandhi did not allow his rage to turn into hatred against any individual. His rage was transformed into electric energy in the fight for freedom and justice. In February of 1936, 4 African Americans led by Howard Thurman, we heard about him earlier today, the philosopher, 4 African Americans called on Gandhi in a hut in Western India in February 1936 and spent 3 hours in conversation with him. Gandhi questioned his guests about racial segregation in the US, about lynching, about African American history. They asked Gandhi about nonviolence. Gandhi said that nonviolence was a force more powerful than electricity or ether. We are told that Gandhi sat enraptured as Thurman's wife, Sue Bailey Thurman, sang 2 spirituals. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? We are climbing Jacob's ladder. Before the visitors left, Gandhi expressed to them his belief. Before the visitors left, this is 1936, Gandhi expressed to them his belief that African Americans were going to lead the world in nonviolence and nonviolent resistance. Made in 1936, that prophecy, we know, has been vindicated. On January 12, 1948, 18 days before he was killed, Gandhi spoke of what he called our aching, storm-tossed, and hungry world. Our aching, storm-tossed, and hungry world. Would you say that our world today is also aching and storm-tossed? Gandhi wished that India would offer hope to this unhappy world. And he thought that America's African Americans could show the way forward. Let us recognize that in a significant way, our world of 2023 is different from the world of 1948 when Gandhi was killed, different from the world of 68 when King was killed, and quite different even from the world of 2013 when Mandela died. That world of 2013 when Mandela died did not fully practice democracy or equality, but at least it paid lip service to equality. It paid lip service to justice and to democracy. 10 years after that, our world today seems unsure about equality and democracy, even as goals or norms. To many in the world, supremacy is a more attractive goal than equality. The emergence of this museum is therefore not only a wonderful event, it is a timely event. This museum will allow the whole world to walk into our hearts. It will inspire us to get close to those who struggle for dignity, brotherhood, and sisterhood among all of humankind. All of humankind. Einstein never met Gandhi, but he studied Gandhi from afar. The people of Houston and visitors to Houston are more fortunate. Thanks to this museum, they can meet Gandhi, they can meet King, they can meet Mandela. I salute all those who imagined this museum and then created it, all of you. Not just those donors, those who worked for it, the architects, the builders, those who created the various exhibits. I mean everybody who has contributed to this. I salute them. Those who have created this with faith, with sweat, with giving, with persistence. Almost everyone visiting this museum will feel lifted up. They will breathe the air of hope. And at least in the minds of some visitors, this museum will prompt an awesome question. Can I walk on the road on which Gandhi, King, and Mandela walked? And my last thought is this. As I heard and saw these wonderful children who sang this sang and demonstrated their ideas and their hopes, and with whom I was photographed. I said to myself, I don't know whether I would live to see this, but I hope and pray that on this platform, on this stage, in this auditorium, not just children of Indian ancestry, of Indian origin, but children from all over the world. Chinese children, Arab children, Jewish children, Pakistani children, Muslim children, Buddhist children, atheist children, Sikh children, the children from all the nations and races and religions, African children, will be here, not just to honor Gandhi, not just to honor King, not just to honor Mandela, but to honor the great goals of friendship and love and equality, mutual respect.
And as they say, behind every good man, there's a greater woman. And please welcome to the stage Miss Usha Gandhi, who has also accompanied Dr. Gandhi. I'd like to have her come to the stage and be recognized. There she is. Please. And then I'd like to welcome the Board of Trustees, Consul General on the stage, Commissioner Rodney Ellis, Commissioner Dexter McCoy. And we'll take one group photograph. If I've left out any other elected officials, please come on stage. All right. Well, we're down to our last speaker, and I just can't wait. I'm tickled. He is. All right, so let's go on. He is our keynote speaker for today. I guess travel plans were not so good yesterday, but we're so glad you're here. He currently serves as a senior fellow of the King Center, where he continues to write, research, and lecture on the life, philosophy, and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. He continues to strive for how nonviolence should guide our society as we confront the socialism, religious, economic, and war issues of America and the world today. Please welcome our keynote speaker, the nephew of Martin Luther King Jr., Mr. Isaac Newton Ferris. Good?
Thank you for that gracious introduction. First, giving honor and praises to God. Secondly, I'm so honored to be in the presence of Dr. Gandhi and Mrs. Gandhi. To all, and also, let's give another round of applause for the kids who did such a great job. It's an old saying, but they are our future, and based on what we saw today, I think our future's in pretty good shape. And to all of you, thank you. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here in Houston for this great historical event, the inauguration of the first and only freestanding museum in America dedicated to the life and legacy of the legendary Mahatma Gandhi. History informs one's understanding of the world, both past and present, and having a strong understanding of what has happened in our history helps us to have an informed understanding of what type of future history society should make. Knowledge of past history and how past historical events affected people differently can create empathy in the present for other people of different racial, ethnic, economic, religious, or social classes whose history may differ from the mainstream. First and foremost, museums are cradles of history. They help us to learn from the past because they provide insight into the history of humankind. And what better history to provide insight on how to live today than the impact that the great Mahatma has had on humankind. In recognition of that impact that the great Mahatma had on my uncle, Martin Luther King Jr., my aunt, Coretta Scott King, established the Gandhi Room in the Martin Luther King Center's Freedom Hall building, where the millions of tourists who visit the King Center each year can view personal items that belong to the great Mahatma. Since the King Center was constructed in the 1980s, it served as America's first Gandhi museum. But compared to the grand institution that we're dedicating today, it was a very crude museum. But nonetheless, it was my family's humble attempt to pay homage to the great Mahatma. However, the King Center does now retain one proud distinction. We remain the only institution in America other than this grand museum that we've dedicated today, with all due respect to what's happening in Mississippi, to have a life-size statue of the great Mahatma. It stands at the entrance of the King Historic Park District, where it is the first thing that greets the millions that visit the King Center and the gravesite of Martin and Coretta King. Every year, the King Center, the Gandhi Foundation of USA, the Atlanta Council General of India, and the Atlanta Indian community gather at the statue to commemorate the birthday of the great Mahatma. That celebration happened today, and it's the first in my lifetime that I've missed because I'm here today. My family and the King Center's humble museum, our life-size statue of the great Mahatma, and our yearly observance of the life of the great Mahatma are not solely motivated by the impact Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of Satyagraha had on my uncle and the American Civil Rights Movement. Our motivation is the same motivation that inspires today's grand opening. One, to acknowledge the life of the great Mahatma. Two, to commemorate and celebrate the life of the great Mahatma. And three, and most importantly, to educate America and the world on the contributions and benefit to humankind that the great Mahatma truly is. In India, August 15th is a national holiday that celebrates India's independence from Britain. This past August 15th, India celebrated 76 years of independence. Let's give that a hand. Because of the August 15th holiday, America and the world continue to be exposed to and educated about the nonviolent movement the great Mahatma led, which liberated India from one of the world's most powerful militaries. But due to the great Mahatma's nonviolent leadership, India gained its freedom from one of the world's most powerful militaries, having never fired a shot, providing irrefutable proof to the world that nonviolence properly applied can triumph over violence. But the reality is most of America and the world don't realize that there's so much more to the great Mahatma's life story than his nonviolent leadership, which freed India from Britain. Teaching, learning, or studying the great Mahatma's life history involves more than just remembering people, events, and key dates of his time on earth. The who, what, when, and where types of questions are just the start of it. Exposure to the complete history of the great Mahatma demands that historians must also provide answers to the how and why questions. That is, interpreting events to better understand how they unfolded and why they occurred. This is why dedicating and opening the Eternal Gandhi Museum is vital to teaching America and the world the complete Mohandas Karmachand Gandhi history. For instance, in terms of the great Mahatma's personal lifestyle, most people will assume when the great Mahatma first made a vow not to eat meat or drink alcohol, it was for religious reasons. Because maybe they don't know that he first made that vow to his mother and wife in return for their agreement for him to leave India and attend law school in Britain. In terms of the great Mahatma's life philosophy, most people might assume that the great Mahatma developed his philosophy of Satyagraha, which in America we refer to as nonviolent resistance, as a result of his struggle to gain India's freedom for Britain. Obviously, Commissioner Ellis is not one of those people, as he spoke of earlier. Nothing could be further from that truth. The great Mahatma conceived his philosophy of nonviolent resistance during the 21 years he lived in South Africa, where he personally experienced discrimination because of his skin color and his Indian heritage. Indians were not allowed to walk on public footpaths in South Africa. The great Mahatma was once kicked into a gutter for daring to walk near the house of a white South African. After boarding a South African stagecoach, the great Mahatma was not allowed to sit with European passengers and was told to sit on the floor near the driver. And when he refused to do so, he was physically beaten. In another instance, the great Mahatma was thrown off of a train after refusing to leave the first-class section. He sat in a South African train station, shivering all night and pondering if he should return to India or stay in South Africa and protest for his rights. Fortunately for his fellow Indians living in South Africa at the time, and according to Nelson Mandela, the ultimate authority on South Africa, fortunately for both white and black South Africans, Gandhi chose to stay and protest. The very first time that he revealed his philosophy of nonviolent resistance was during a 1906 mass protest meeting in Johannesburg, South Africa, not India. At the Johannesburg mass protest meeting, the great Mahatma urged his fellow Indians to nonviolently defy a South African law compelling the registration of all Indian and Chinese populations living in South Africa. He also urged them to nonviolently suffer any consequences for doing so. Based on his vigorous nonviolent resistance to South African racism and his vigorous quest to gain the right to vote for his fellow Indians living in South Africa, the great Mahatma developed an international reputation as a leading Indian nationalist, theorist, and community organizer. And based on this success in South Africa, the great Mahatma was asked to return to India in 1915 and join India's quest for freedom from British rule. Proliferating the accurate unknown history of the great Mahatma, as well as his known life story, is the true value of what we're dedicating today here at the Eternal Gandhi Museum. From within these museum walls, Gandhi's wisdom on how to resolve conflict nonviolently will proliferate out into American society. And considering that many Americans have lost trust in American democracy's one person, one vote counted election system, considering that many Americans fear for their economic well-being in an America where the rich seem to get richer and the poor seem to get poorer, and considering many Americans fear for their future civil rights in an America where the racial demographics of America will change in 10 years, converting the American white race from being the majority population in America to being the largest minority population in America, the great Mahatma's wisdom on how to resolve different political views, different religious values, and different lifestyle beliefs is needed now in America more than any other time in American history. Unfortunately, right now, in this great state of Texas, there are school libraries that have been barred from providing access to accurate history. Unfortunately, right now, in the great United States of America, there are states where it has become illegal for state-sponsored schools, colleges, and universities to teach the accurate racial history of America. George Santayana was so prolific when he first said, back in 1906, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. But you know, my friends, it's impossible for anyone to remember a past that they have been denied access to. That's why it's so significant that the Eternal Gandhi Museum is dedicated today. No matter what history a school library is allowed to provide, or what history state-sponsored schools, colleges, and universities can legally teach, the history of the great Mahatma will be taught. His wisdom on resolving conflict nonviolently will live on. It will proliferate out into the community where it can and will make a nonviolent difference. Because as of today, the Eternal Gandhi Museum is an operational fact of life. An operational fact of life that will make the city of Houston, the state of Texas, the United States of America, and the world safer places to live. So I salute Atul Kathari and the board of directors, Congressman Al Green, the Houston Endowment Foundation, the Fort Bend County Commission, Dr. Ann Kao, and all who contributed to making the Eternal Gandhi Museum a living reality. What you have accomplished here today not only honors the life of the great Mahatma, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, this Eternal Gandhi Museum both honors the belief in and will contribute to the realization of universal, peaceful, and nonviolent coexistence among all life on earth. Thank you for this great gift to humanity. God bless all present here today, and God bless America.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And on behalf of the Gandhi Museum, a token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. All right, we do have State Representative Dr. Suleiman Lalani in the House. If he could come up, and he has a proclamation for us. It says, this certificate is presented to the Eternal Gandhi Museum, Houston, in honor of the inauguration of the first freestanding museum in America dedicated to the life and legacy of Mahatma Gandhi on his 154th birthday. On this second day of October 2023, signed by State Representative Suleiman Lalani, MD.
You did my job.
Take a quick picture.
Okay.
Thanks again. Thank you so much.
With all due respect, Commissioner Ellis, I'm a little sad that this is not in Fort Bend County, but I'm very happy this is in Texas.
Well, now it's my humble honor to introduce again a dear friend, personal mentor. You know, he's truly the man, or he's the reason we're here today. He seems to have this inexhaustible energy and capacity for work. I love his good humor. And he has this patience to be personal and attentive to really each and every detail to bring such a massive scale project, at least in my mind, to our great city of Houston. He's no question the captain of our ship, the backbone of this organization. Please welcome Mr. Atul Kothari.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jivi. Yeah, before I begin, a lot of pictures have been taken. May I request one more picture and ask Dr. Gandhi and Faris Newton Jr., first of all, to take those seats. Then may I request all the other dignitaries to come and join them behind them, please. Consul General Rodney, Alice, Solomon, Alani, everyone, please. If I left out anyone, please come join. Any of the board members who are in the, wait, just a minute, I'll call you. Project? Yes, turn on the projector. Just a minute. I'm coming. Just a minute. Okay. This feels as if Dr. King and Mahatma Gandhi are with us today. I also request now the Board of Trustees to come and join this group. The so-called younger board trustees, please sit down in front of the chairs. The others can stand behind. Let me begin by first thanking the Almighty to bring to fruition this museum today. As I always say at the conclusion of each event, it is incredible how many coincidences and how many things have fallen in place from the day we started on this project till today, and I'm sure many more are yet to come. Just to share, some of those examples are the grant we got from the US government sponsored by Congressman Al Green. You won't believe it all happened within almost 10 days. In late March of 2021, we came to know that there is something called earmarks. And somebody asked, do you know what earmarks are? And I said, no. Then I asked, where do you apply? Say, you can apply to your congressman. So we asked the person, who is our congressman? Because we did not know we were in Congressman Al Green's district. Al Green. I said, oh, wow. That is a good chance we can apply for that, because Mr. Al Green has been associated with this organization practically from day one in 2002. So we write an application online, and we get a call within a couple of days from the congressman's office that a congressman would like to come and see the site. So, oh, now that's exciting. So we said, come on over. So he comes with his staff, and at that time we are told by his personal assistant that in order for the application to be complete, we need 5 letters of recommendation from elected officials. Remember, this is early April, and the application had to be submitted by April 15 to the congressman's office. So, oh my God, where am I going to go? We knew nobody. But you won't believe the goodwill for Gandhiji is so tremendous. We got a letter from, of course, our County Commissioner Rodney Ellis, our KP George, our then precinct judge, I'm trying to remember his name, it will come to me later on, from our councilwoman Artha Kastek Tatum. We got 8 letters of recommendation in less than 7 days. We completed our application by April 15th, the deadline to file it. By the end of the month, every congressman has to show on their website the projects that they are recommending. And we made that. And after that, the next filter is that the House Appropriations Committee has to recommend your project. And that is declared around late July. We made it through there. Now we are certain we are going to get the money. However, there was a difference between Republicans and Democrats regarding the approval of the budget, and it did not occur. And instead of being in October, it happened in March of 2022, and then we got the money. So there are many, many such coincidences. It is unbelievable how the things are falling into place. So that's why I begin with thanking the Almighty. But more importantly, coming down to routine stuff, of course, I want to thank the children of the DV Montessori School for giving such a great performance. Everyone, please give another round of applause. I want to thank all the elected officials and our special guest, Dr. Rajmohan Gandhi and Isaac Faris Newton Jr. Okay. And all the people in the audience. It has been a long day, but you stayed through that, and we really appreciate all your support. And if I left anybody, of course, all our business partners, the architect, the museum designer, construction, all the donors, I can't go on. The list is so very long. But thank you so very much. Welcome to the Little Gandhi Museum, and wishing everyone all the best. Just a moment, I'll turn it over to Dr. Manish Wani one more time for some further instructions. Thank you.
Well, guys, we are coming to the conclusion of the program. Again, remember, today is October 2nd. It's the 154th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. It's International Nonviolence Day, as proclaimed by United Nations. So we're so lucky to be doing the grand opening on such an auspicious day.